Hello everyone, Rishi this side. Welcome Figma fans. Today we'll be diving into a powerful yet simple technique, the ripple effect. So let's get started. So you can use ripple effect in your button, images or any other component you would like to use. Once you understand the technique, you can use it anywhere you wish to use. So let's take an image here. I'm using a vertical game tile. You can use whatever you feel like. So this will be our image. Let's create a frame. Command Option G or Control Alt G. Put this image in the frame and let's rename it to tile. Okay. Let's select this image and hit Command D or Control D to make a copy out of it. And let's take our ellipse tool and draw an ellipse. This need not to be a perfect circle. Let's remove the fill and add a stroke. Let's just bump it up to 40 pixel. You can even change the stroke width depending on your desired results. Let's give a fill of white color. And let's move this as well underneath the second copy. Let's rename this ellipse to ripple mask. Okay, now select these two and create a mask. So right now you don't see any change. So select the masked image and let's resize it a bit. So now you can see the difference, right? Let's just select the parent frame tile and turn on the clip content. So the technique will be, let's just center it out. So the technique will be, we'll be moving this ripple mask on the hover of game tile. And before we do that, let's do one more thing. Hit enter to go in edit mode. And let's just remove this vertices. We don't need it. Cool. So one more thing we can do is we can select this masked image and let's resize it a bit. Cool. Let's lock this layer as well so that we don't accidentally move it. Now take a copy of this ripple mask layer. I'm just holding Option, or you can hold Alt if you're using Windows, and click and drag a copy out of it. And let's remove it from the mask mode. Now we will be creating the actual look and feel of a ripple. So keep it to white only. Let's add an effect. Use the effect layer blur. We don't need to bump it too much, maybe around 10 or 12, and use the same thing for this ripple mask layer as well. Let's add layer blur effect and bump it up to 10 pixel. So this setting you can change based upon the image resolution you're using or the kind of effect you're trying to achieve. So let me just show you the effect of this layer blur before and after. It will just smoothen out the edges, and once you move, you can actually see the effect in action. Okay, let's turn on the previous layer. This will be our highlight. Let's take another copy out of it by hitting Command D or Control D. Let's make it 0, the color. It will be black. And let's half the stroke size and move it a bit down, and let's call it shadow. Take another copy of the shadow and let's move everything below the highlight, both the shadows. And this shadow we can move it down and maybe increase the stroke width to 30 pixel. So something like this. Now let's group all these and call them ripple 1. So we need to change the blending mode of the layer from pass through to overlay. So now you can see we select this ripple 1 and ripple mask together and move this. You can see we are getting the same kind of effect. Now let's just create a component out of it by hitting this create component button. Let's move our ripple 1 and ripple mask layer out of the parent frame. So make sure you don't select the image itself, otherwise it will reposition the full image as well. Let's move it here. Let me just turn off the clip content for a moment. Okay, so here's a ripple 1 and let's make another variant. Let me just reposition things for better understanding. And in the second variant, we'll move the ripple mask and ripple 1 to the bottom. And at the same time, we'll resize these ripple and ripple mask as well. So select the scale tool or press K and let's make it maybe 3x. No, this is too much. I guess let's work with 2. Sorry, Control Z to the original size and let's make it 2x. Good. So now go to the prototype window, select the first variant, draw a noodle out of it and say you can either use while hovering or you can use mouse enter. I personally like to use mouse enter and we'll be saying it. Change it to the second variant using smart animate. So here's the thing, for a smooth ripple effect we need to use a custom Bezier curve so that we can achieve that similar kind of effect which we have used in the original example. So let me just show you this before making any changes. Let's just take a copy out of it in the viewport. Let's turn on the clip content again and let's just see things in action. So right now you can see the effect is going pretty fast and it's not repeating itself as I am doing a mouse enter on the tile. So let's fix it. Let's zoom in a bit. Select the first tile, click this noodle. Let's change the timing from 300 seconds to maybe around 2000 seconds. And let's draw a handle out of the bottom curve. And let's expand this curve a bit like this. So what this will essentially do, the animation will start slow and gain speed, and in the end again it will gradually end the animation. So now you can see it's a bit smooth. It's looking really nice. So let's fix the other variant and let's draw a noodle out of it and let's say mouse leave, and instead of smart animate we can just say instant. So like this we'll be creating a mouse enter and mouse leave event to create a hover effect. So let me just hit R to refresh the window. Now you can see we have a nice ripple effect. So let's add one more variant here. Sorry, let's add one more ripple here in the component. So copy this ripple and duplicate it, and let's resize it to half the size. And move it up. Let's do the same thing in the second variant. Duplicate the ripple one and resize it to half the size. Let's turn on the clip content and see how it's working. Maybe for the second variant we should resize the ripple too. Maybe it's too small. Let's resize it a bit more. And let's move the ripple one bit down. Cool. Now, since this is a component, you can replace the image and enjoy the same effect on several instances. So let me just do that. Take a copy out of it, and I'll use the image from the previous example only. Let me just copy the image. So select the main image and paste the image here, and don't forget to change the image for the masked image as well. So let's see how it's working. Pretty neat. So this is it for the ripple effect technique. I hope you have learned few tricks while watching this. So you can do your own experimentation, try adding more ripples or changing colors, or maybe do something without the layer blur. So do share your comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.